Hey everybody, how you doing? IntoWeapons back again with you. Gonna do a quick video for you today on disassembly of the VZ2008, which is the Vz.58 clone by Century Arms International. The takedown of this is pretty easy and straightforward. It's much like an AK-47, just kind of obviously a little bit different. So it won't take very long here, but we'll go right into it. What we'll do is we'll start at making sure the weapon is clear and safe. So we'll check that. We'll go ahead and switch it to the fire position, and we'll decock the gun, which tell you make sure that there's nothing in there, as well as this gun does require that it's decocked in order for the disassembly process to continue, so you do want it decocked all the way. From that point then, what we're going to do is look at the back of the receiver. There is a pin back here. We'll just push from the left side towards the right side and then pull from the right side to pull that pin all the way through. From that point then, we should be able to remove the dust cover by pushing up forward just a little bit and then up, and the dust cover will come up and off like this, taking with it the two recoil springs, one for the striker and one for the gas system, just like that, not too difficult. From that point then, we'll remove the bolt and bolt carrier, and what we can do to do that is just pull back on the charging handle, and it'll come all the way back to the receiver here, and then we'll just lift it up and off. Now unfortunately I'm not a gunsmith guy, so I don't know the names for all these parts in here, but what you're looking at here is the bolt and bolt carrier, obviously. What we'll do is to disassemble this part is we'll pull back on the striker back here, and you'll notice when you do pull it back it does come to a stop. The reason for that is because there's a little tab that's cut into this striker, which we need to just rotate. If you're looking at it this way, you'd be rotating it to the left, and you'll be able to find that spot. Make sure you get it all the way there. You turn it about maybe 45 degrees, and then you'll be able to pull it all the way back. And let's see if I can get a picture of this tab that's cut into this bolt here. There we go. You can kind of see it along the bottom there. That's really what you're looking for. And then when you're reassembling, just kind of making sure that when you're looking at it, that little notch is on the right hand side of this striker. We just push it in. We'll find kind of the spot which it rotates down, and that'll allow you to push this striker all the way into the bolt carrier, which is how it's supposed to seat when you're reassembling this. So again, we'll take it off here. And then I don't know what the technical name for this thing is. It carries the firing pin, all that good stuff. But it has actually two pieces, and it rides in here. And you'll notice how it rides. And you'll notice that there's this piece that kind of moves as it rides back and forth. So there is two pieces here. What we'll do is just move it backwards to the rear of the assembly here, and we'll take it off. And let's see if I can get it back together. There we go. And it goes together like this. So you'll have, it's got two little hinges there, more or less. It goes into those indents, and it rides up and down like that. So not very difficult to remember. So we'll set all that aside. The next thing we'll take a look at is the gas system up here. And again, there's a takedown pin over on the left-hand side in front of the rear sight here. We're going to push from the left towards the right, and then pull from the right. That will allow us to release this dust cover. That's pretty easy. From that point then, you'll notice you have your gas piston, and there's a gas piston and there is a spring inside here. Now I'm having a little bit of a difficult time removing my gas piston. Typically you'd be able to pull this up, backwards, up, and straight off, and there shouldn't be really much any resistance at all. If you are having some resistance, it could be a couple reasons. One, there's that spring in here. That spring does have a common place to be mangled. It'll actually mangle up, and it'll stop you from being able to remove this. There are better springs on the market that you're able to purchase. I thought that was the case with mine. It actually wasn't. The spring is still in good condition, but what I did notice is there's quite a bit of fouling on the rod itself, which is probably just causing it to mar up a little bit and not come out as easily as it should. I did a little bit of cleaning on it with just a wire brush, and it's a little bit easier than what it used to be to get in and out, but I'm going to go back here and do a little bit more polishing and stuff to get that cleaned up where it's easily used. If you're having a difficult time getting it out, all I would recommend doing is from the back of the system here is using a punch with a hammer and just kind of tapping it out forward so it does come out of that system pretty easily. You can also, if you have an issue with the spring, if it's coming out, there might be an issue with your piston rod being bent here as well. That's also something that someone had mentioned as being an issue. So you can stick this in maybe a drill bit, twist it, and turn it, I should say, and you'll be able to see if there's any kind of bend or anything inside that piston. But at that point then, once we remove that rod, like I said, there's this spring in here. We'll just remove this spring. Pretty easy, and that's pretty much it. I haven't really taken off the lower handguards here. I'm sure it's somewhat easy. There's probably just a little tab that's holding this bracket in place, and It doesn't look like I can see it right now, but you really technically don't need to remove this lower handguard. That's kind of unnecessary. The muzzle brake is, you know, standard AK-47 14x1 left-hand thread, I believe. So you just push in this detent here in the front and spin this muzzle brake off. Mine's going to be a little bit difficult. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's pretty easy. That's not too difficult to do, and it's pretty standard for any AK-47. So reassembly of the gun, we'll go ahead and just replace our spring over this piston here, just like that. We'll put the piston back into the spot where it belongs here and just kind of push backwards. And again, this should go in fairly easy as long as you don't have any issues like mine has. Just making sure you got it in the right position here. There we go. And again, I gotta use a little bit more force than what I should probably have to use right now, but I'm relating that to a cleaning problem. And now I got, there we go. And again, this should be a lot easier to do. If I get a grip with my plastic gloves here, guys, this should be a lot easier to do than what it is on this one. And hopefully once I clean this up, it'll be a lot easier. Something like that. That's kind of where it goes like. So then we'll put on the dust cover. We'll replace the pin there. We'll go ahead and put our bolt carrier and bolt back together here. And again, what we're going to do is just make sure that these two pieces are put together like that. And then from there, we'll put it in the back of the bolt carrier, set it right in there, and it slides forward like that. We'll use our striker. Again, remembering that we need that little cut there to be towards the right hand side where we can rotate it in, and like that. We want everything in this bolt carrier to kind of be resting in the forward position like this when we put it back into the receiver. So just kind of make sure you got that. And as I put it in here, what you'll notice is as I push this forward to reseat it, the striker catches on the fire control group here. So what you need to do is just pull on the trigger a little bit to release the tension here, or lower the bar, which will allow that striker to move forward. That is required. And then what you just go ahead and do is replace these springs, one in the lower for the striker, and then one in the upper for the gas piston system. Push this forward, lower it down into the position it belongs. Oh, I got the... Make sure you got your pin back in the open position there, otherwise you're going to have an issue just like I did. Just like that, replace the pin, and you should be fully assembled. We'll go ahead and do a function test. Make sure the safety works. Everything looks good. And that is the disassembly and reassembly of the VZ2008. Hope this helps, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, until next time, take it easy.